I'm Marcy Thomas, and I have ulcerative colitis, and I've had it for about 28 years. When I started as a YMC camp director that summer, things were great, going smooth. About halfway into it, when I found out I didn't like working with children, I like more older kids, but I don't know, stress or something. But all of a sudden I started having a lot of diarrhea, mucus, and cramping, and having to go to the bathroom a lot. And so I started to get a little bit weak and lightheaded. Knew something wasn't quite right, so I asked Mom, and she checked out after I went to the bathroom one time, and a lot of blood was there. And so we went one more time back to see if there were more tests they could run, and everything kept coming negative. So the morning of my 21st birthday, Mom was saying happy birthday, and I passed out. And so when I woke up, I was at the hospital with IVs. So I was in the hospital for about 2 days before they finally brought a specialist in, and they did a colonoscopy on me to check to see what was going on. And I had full-blown colitis in the full thing. 2 doctors fought. One wanted to go ahead and take the whole colon and go ahead and put the bag and all on, and the other one, being I was 21, thought it'd be too traumatic of an experience to do that, and fought for medication and all. So he won out, thank you, praise God, and Dr. Niffen. And so we went on medical therapy. I was in hospital for 2 more weeks because I was having trouble with the prednisone to keep the medicine in. I did try to go, I was in between going from graduating my A degree at Santa Fe to UF, going to exercise sports science. And I tried one semester, but because I don't like to let things get a hold of me, but yeah, the illness got me, and physically weak. Have to always carry an extra pair of clothes around for accidents and stuff like that, and sometimes miss class because just not feeling well that day or don't have the strength that day to go. So we ended up taking about 1.5 years off from school to sort of get it under control. I did really well for about 10 years. Went to a support group to find out that colitis patients are all different. Some of them could eat things I couldn't. So I found out everybody's different. So when people invite me over for dinner stuff, then they know I have it. They go, is there something specific? And I'll let, nah, we'll work with it. So it just, sometimes some foods are good with it, sometimes they're not. So we did pretty good, off and on. It has its bouts. Most ulcerative colitis patients are in and out of the hospital about 4 times a year. I think out of my first 10 years, I was only in a couple times, and it's because I caught a bug or a flu and got dehydrated. Did have to go in for several, 1 blood transfusion one time, but I had several bouts of iron transfusions. 10 years later, I moved to Kentucky. I think the stress of my dad passing away about 3 weeks after I moved there, because it was almost 3 months after I moved there that it almost took my life for the second time. I have a feeling it wasn't right. Something went right when I came home from spring break and I got back to Kentucky. I knew I wasn't feeling too good, sort of has flu-like symptoms. So it was funny because the doctor came in and he's like, "What's your religious background?" Because we're gonna have to do a blood transfusion. I'm like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm Baptist. I can do blood transfusion." We did another colonoscopy and it had gotten active, and we had to have like 2 pints of blood. We had to have blood transfusions in that one because I didn't realize how bad I had let it get. So, so it comes in flares. Every once in a while, I have to have a prednisone kickback, but a lot of the times I don't let the illness control me or let it. But I do have to take days off because it's like hitting the wall sometimes, where my energy's just, if I don't give my body time to rest every once in a while. If somebody that I know has an illness around, I have to start watching my intake and how my body reacts, because I pick up things, it multiplies what it can, and I can pick up on things real quickly. Yep, I have had it for quite a while. This past year I've had a couple little bouts, so I have a feeling it's about time for it's time for another colonoscopy. He's supposed to take I have one every 2, 3, 4 years. He's stretched it to 4 because this last time he's been doing really, really well. But last year I had and this year I had a little bit of one, so we're about ready to, I guess, change medication. So I'm not really happy about it. It's supposed to be an intravenous one, so we'll see how that goes.